In this episode, our pencils will be twisting around one of the most famous drawings by the Renaissance genius Michelangelo. I will try to create a totally new scene based on this beautiful image full of passion and love. Today we are going back a few hundred years into the times called Renaissance, and our today's image will be based on this very famous image, a drawing created by Michelangelo, one of the best artists in human history. This is a very popular image. There's a lot of reproductions sold in various of art stores or even just the general stores. I've seen that on walls in so many houses, so you may be familiar with this one. And based on that image, I will try to create a scene, also sort of like a historical scene based on the based around the music, based around figures, based around some historical scenes. So yeah, without any unnecessary talking, let's just grab the main elements of this drawing that I will further use in my today's project. So I will put a piece of tracing paper on top and basically just grab the main outlines, the main darker areas without going into the details. So I'm just grabbing an areas, not specific elements of, in this case, human face. I just want to grab the darkest elements and then kind of try to find in them totally not related to this specific image items to create our illusion or a drawing hidden within a drawing. So this is pretty straightforward. I'm just copying those very distinctive elements. So let's say I'm pretty much done with this face, with a man's face. Let's focus now on a woman's face. There you go. We've just captured an eye, a nose, and a lips. There you go. Shadow under the lip and the shadow under the chin. Outline the contour of the face. There you go, the hairline. There's some very distinctive areas in that neighborhood. Yeah, so it's not a very slow process, but try to capture as many as you can. You never know what will become useful in the next step when we will start improvising, creating new elements, and the more the better. You can always either ignore them or eliminate them. But yeah, of course, don't forget about that eye. Eyes are very important. They pretty much determine the facial expression and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's pretty much, we're pretty much done with a lady's face. And now there is this hand gently touching a man. What a lovely romantic scene, I would say. She seems to be really in love or really care about a man. Well, nothing wrong with love. It's probably the best that we can find in life, unless you're not successful. But anyways, yeah, so just to touch the fingernails, and yeah, that's pretty much all I need. Maybe just a trace of the cheek shadow, and yeah, I like it. I think that's all I need to kind of start working on the next image. So let's remove Michelangelo's masterpiece, a copy or print of that, and let's see what we ended up with. Okay, so here we go. As always, okay, let's bring the source image back. Actually, let's put it underneath. It will be easier to kind of mark up. Now I have to line it up properly or accurately. That's probably the better word. And just let's start. Let's just sorry, let me grab a different pencil. Just mark up the dark and the light areas. Yeah, we need to know that, because as always we'll be focusing on the dark areas, and all our hidden elements or new elements and elements that will build up a new composition, we'll be trying to fit them up into the dark areas. So let's just make a note. Yeah, this is dark, this is dark, this is dark. Of course, this area is very dark, and this will be sort of like a focal point, because eyes, lip, nose, or lips are always a focal point, and if you do them right, the rest is just fun. So yeah, let's just make a few notes. And okay, so pretty much I've captured what I wanted to capture. Of course, you can spend as much time as you want on doing that, but this is just a kind of inspiration, the beginning point. Of course, we're not copying for the sake of copying. We're just copying it to kind of scoop out those dark areas, and then start building up our new image. Of course, that's the best part of the project, when you just kind of getting crazy, getting wild, and start finding those new objects. Okay, so let me lift up the tracing paper, remove the source image, and here we go. I think this is an excellent starting point, and based on that, I will start trying to find an elements and objects and items, figures that will help us transfer it into the totally new image, but still an image then will remind you, and you'll be able to find the elements of original source image. Okay, so let's start finding these hidden objects. I'll put another piece of tracing paper, and let me focus on the areas that look to me the most intriguing. So I always like eyes, and what I see here is this kind of Spanish flamenco guitar player. Let's say he's got a big hat here. Oh yeah, flamboyant hat. And let's build his face around this eye. So let's say that's him. That's him. A beard. Spaniards like wear beard. Okay. Beard, and since there's a lot of light areas here, I will try to gently put something in his hands. If you can see this kind of shadow under this gentleman, the source image gentleman eye, why not to use it as a guitar? So he's strumming his guitar here, his little fingers, his puffy kind of shirt. Alright, and of course we will put his other arm here, where the guy is kind of playing his chords, or flamenco. It's more about finger picking, I guess. There is this shadow here. I will probably use it for oh, there you go. That's a beard. That's a beard. So that's a nose. So what do we have here? We have another person. Who is he? I don't know, but that's our second face. And yeah, so that's the guitar. We'll see what we can do about this. And the same story with a woman's eye, right? So we have this kind of shadow, very distinctive shadow. So let's use this as a source of another face. Of course it's a gentleman, because he will be, that's his beard. You don't see the gentleman yet. I have to make it more kind of, that's another gentleman here. He's flamboyant hat, a beard. Yeah, so you see, let's just emphasize the elements that we are borrowing from the source image, so that you don't lose anything here. And that's the upper lip, and that's gonna be our next figure. And so there's figure number one, the guitar player. So let's make this guitar looking a bit more like a guitar. Of course, this is sort of like just like marking up an ideas here. Cheek stuff, and now we have hands. So I will use these hands as sort of like a direction leading towards our other figures. There will be kind of like a conversation going here, right? Okay, hey, what do you think about this guy playing the guitar? Oh no, he's good. Are you sure? Well, last time I was in this place, I heard somebody playing way better. Really? No, not really. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm positive. Yeah, so I will fill out this area with some figures, and I will use the finger line as kind of melting stuff to suggest like this guy. Okay, so you see if I fill it up with a dark, so the area in between fingers now suggests that this is maybe he's kind of like an outfit. There you go. I mean, this is the part that brings most fun, because I mean, you're not limited to anything, and you can be really very kind of creative, right? So yeah, we have this guy, that guy. I think for these elements of the hair, lady's hair, I will kind of try to kind of convert them into the floral elements, maybe following the line of the hair, and look at that, how well it works. Branches with leaves, and yeah, this should be something good. Maybe I will kind of expand it later, but yeah, so at that point we have a profile of the man. The profile of the man, that's probably gonna be another hat or something, just like that. A beard, so a bit of a mustache here comes to play. Our main guy, which is kind of not really defined just yet, but we will take care of that when I transfer this drawing onto the paper that I will be kind of working on the final project. And we have this guy, we have this guy, we have this little figure here. Well, we'll see what we can do about, I'm not even sure at that point if it's going to be a man or a woman. Maybe man, maybe, oh look at that, looks like a Batman. But yeah, I mean, it's all about fun, and this eye, of course, I will just kind of follow this floral pattern. So if you look at that, we still have the main elements of the face, but we start to work on something totally different, right? So hey, if this is a man, why not to give him a little lady? Okay. Hey, look at me. Oh, I'm not looking like a lady at all, but yeah, maybe. Okay, now something like that. Yeah, so probably there will be some connection between these two. This guy will be playing some serenades, you know, for all these lovers. The guitar is well established. We have a nice shadow underneath the nose, so it's all good. So as you can see, I basically created I have created a good starting point. I mean, all these other elements at this point, I really don't care about them. We can turn them into anything. I mean, Look at this. I don't really care at that point, but yeah, so this is a solid start. As long as we have these two faces still visible and still working as the face, I can fill them up with as much elements as I want, but this will happen in our next stage when I'll be working on the actual image. Yeah, so if this is supposed to be a plan, we can kind of just make a note that yeah, later on it should become some sort of a plant. Alright, so, and of course that's an eye. We should have create some sort of like a base for this. Maybe we'll kind of add some landscape elements and create some trees. So, but you see, I'm just throwing out an idea, just whatever comes to my mind. I'm talking about it, and whether it's good or bad, we'll see. But at that stage, I'm happy with what I see, and yeah, I think it's a good beginning, and for our final composition. So let me kind of work a bit more on the details, and once I'm sure that it's good to go, we will transfer it over onto the clean piece of paper, and we will start working on the final drawing. So bear with me. I think I have captured most of what I wanted to capture, and it's a good, I think there's enough material here to start working on our drawing. So as always, I refer you to episode 1 of my series called Basics, when I explain in depth all the techniques that I use, among others techniques that help me to transfer an image from this, which is just a tracing paper, onto the clean sheet of paper. I can start and quickly remind you on how I do it. I basically apply a layer of graphite and later flip the page back, and when I trace it up with a harder pencil, this is 2B, so not the perfect ones, but let's say, okay, this is HB. By the way, I also talk about a different type of pencils in episode 1, so feel free to go and kind of watch the episode 1. But yeah, once you trace it up and lift the tracing paper, everything is here, right? So at this point, of course, this is not my I'll do it off the camera, but this is the moment when you see I have the good source and I can start working on my image.